Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Joe Habenshus, and I'm with Head Pen Racket Sports. And today we're here at Biscayne Tennis at the Aventura location. What I'm here to talk about really is our new launch of the graphene rackets. These are performance rackets used by many of our top pros on the ATP Tour and the Women's Tour as well. The graphene material itself is a very, very light, very strong material. And it is integrated into the shaft area here. Okay. Now the racket I'm holding is the Graphene Speed Pro model, which is the heaviest of the speed rackets, and this is the racket that Novak Djokovic plays with. It is designed for, obviously, for very high level players. This has a 100 square inch head, weighs 11.1 ounces unstrung, and it has an 18 by 20 string pattern. I think most of you know what that is, right? 18 mains, 20 crosses. Ideal for more control. Doesn't give you as much power, but typically this player is going to use this racket who already generates a lot of head speed, a lot of power on their own, but they're looking for control. Okay. Now the graphene, as I mentioned, is integrated in the shaft area. What it does, because it is so super light and super strong, it allows us to remove some of the other carbon fiber weight out of this, and we redistribute it. That's the key thing to remember about what graphene does. Okay, we redistribute that weight, some to the handle, some to the tip of the racket. When you put a little more weight in the handle, it increases that maneuverability. So particularly when you're at the net and you're volleying, you want to make sure you have great control over the racket. The additional weight we put on the tip of the racket gives you more power. So as you're coming through the ball, you're generating, again, more head speed. So your swing speed is going to be faster with basically less effort. So the racket really performs so much better even than last year's model did. And the racket comes in other head size, not other head sizes, but other weights as well. This is the Speed Mid Plus version in the same head size. The difference is in the weight. It's 10.6 ounces unstrung. Okay, and also the string pattern is the more open string pattern that we call the 16-19 string pattern. Okay, and that's designed really for more spin and a little bit more power. Then we get into the speed rackets are designed more for recreational players or good club level players. Okay, the Speed S racket, this weighs 10.1 ounces unstrung. Okay, and ideal for that club player, basically, who is a good B level up to an A level player. Then the Speed Rev is the lightest weight of the four models. This weighs in at 9.2 ounces, and again, ideal for more of a beginner, intermediate level player. Okay. Now we've done one other thing in the Power Series rackets. We have the new Power series in the Speed collection. This is designed for that player who is someone that needs a lot more power in their game, particularly someone who plays maybe with a slower swing speed. And this has a 115 square inch head, and it is a 16-19 string pattern. It weighs 9 ounces. Okay, so very light but very powerful racket. And if you notice, one thing we've done with all of the rackets in the series, they all look very similar. Okay, it's really designed for a purpose. We want to make sure that that player, no matter what the level is using a racket that they see the pro players using. Most people want a racket that looks like what the pros are playing. So that's why we have the same cosmetic across the board on all the speed rackets, including the power racket, which you just saw here. Then moving into the Instinct, the Graphene Instinct. This is the racket. This happens to be the Mid Plus version, which is the 10.6 ounce version. This is the one that both Maria Sharapova and Thomas Berdych play with. This has a 16-19 string pattern, so again designed for a little bit more power, but still great spin and good control. The beam is a little bit wider than what you saw in the speed rackets, so it's going to give you a little bit more power than what you get from the speed racket. Okay. The second one in the Instinct line is the Instinct S, which weighs in at 9.5 ounces. Okay, slightly bigger head. This is the only one that has a little different head shape, or head size, I should say. This is a 102 head, where the others are 100. Okay, so designed more for the recreational player. 3.0, 3.5 player, someone who wants maybe a little bit more pop and very good control. Then the lightest of the three is the Instinct Rev, and this is an 8.6 ounce racket. Again, designed more for a player who is more of a beginner intermediate level and wants something very easy to swing, possibly somebody who plays a lot of doubles because it's very maneuverable at the net. And then you'll see we've carried that same cosmetic over to the Power Series racket, which is the Power Instinct. Again, designed for a player who has a more shorter, compact swing speed, and they need lots of power. This is a 115 square inch head also, just as you saw. Oops. Same square inches, they're both 115, but you can see the difference in the head shape. This has more of an oval shape, this is a little bit rounder. Okay, this will tend to elongate that sweet spot a little bit more. So you have a little longer sweet spot in here. Okay, this one weighs out at our lightest racket that we make at 8.2 ounces. And the final racket in the series is the Prestige Power Racket. Also the Power Racket, but as you can see with the red and black colors, it's designed to really conform with the other Prestige rackets, which are also red with black trim. Okay, but again, for the player who's more of an intermediate to beginner type level player, has a little smaller head than the other Power rackets. It's a 107 head. So not as much power as you're going to get with the other two, so you get a little bit more control here. And this weighs 9 ounces. Okay, slightly heavier than the others. Excuse me, I'm sorry, 9.5 ounces.